Yeah, many of you know me well. For those that don't, my name is Mark Milligan. I'm on the client success team. I've been working for Audience for a little over 6.5 years. Wow, has it been that long? Well, I should not want to waste any of it. So let's dive right in, shall we? Um, so the first part of this, kind of referring back to the what we mentioned in the agenda, is recognize your value. This might seem a little overly straightforward or obvious, one of those simple messages, but especially when most of you have probably been selling digital contests for quite some time, you probably feel like you know exactly how much a digital contest is worth. And I'm not here to say that you don't know it, but if you'll humor me, I'd like to tell you a super quick story that I read about recently, although it took place back in 2015. If let's see, here we go. A gentleman named Randy Guijarro, and I probably butchered that. I tried my best. Was browsing an old memorabilia shop and found this old random faded tin photo of some cowboys standing around. He asked how much, and the shopkeeper was happy to have made two whole dollars by selling him this old photo. $2 isn't exactly nothing, but you can probably see where this is going. Well, Mr. Guijarro had just discovered only the second authenticated photo of Billy the Kid to ever exist, a photo that has since been valued at up to $5 million. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Of course, we all want to be that guy or girl who finds something incredibly valuable, right? And we would also really hate to find out that we were the shopkeeper who didn't recognize the value of what we had, ultimately missing out on what would have been a fortune. Now, obviously, this is an extreme example, but here's my point. We don't know, right? So maybe recognizing our value isn't always as easy as we automatically think. So rather than taking our value for granted, it's probably a good idea to take a deeper look from time to time. So with that in mind, let's find out how, what, and why your offer is so valuable to your clients. Here's a little hint, by the way. The value that you have to offer can and has been clearly measured on both a micro and a macro scale. So now you've heard us talk about first party data before. This isn't the first time, but unless it's your first time, in which case you'll hear about it. But let me define what first party data means to your clients. We talked about what it means to you and whatnot, but to your clients, first party data is the power to use personalized communication with their leads, excuse me. And I don't mean just knowing their name, email address, and birthday for segmentation and newsletters. I mean knowing if this particular individual is a homeowner, or whether this lady has children living at home, or if this couple has pets, what kind of pets, how old are their pets, what sports or activities or music they love, what style of clothes they prefer to wear, what their favorite season is, if they're a morning bird or a night owl. I mean, valuable first party data is whatever your client could ever want to know in order to personalize their message. And according to countless studies and macro consumer surveys, consumers in 2023 and nearing 2024 here are simply tired of being, quote, talked at and bombarded with ads and emails that have little to nothing to do with them, or lumps them in with a generic category of, say, females over the age of 35 or something. Honestly, it's all just noise at this point, where generically segmented messages get lost in the crowd. That method had a good run in the early days of email and internet, especially in the early days of segmented ads, right? With the third-party data. Think about how big of a boom that was when we hit that. Well, now we're going into a new phase here. But basically, segmentation and countless, sale today emails that have zero relevance to individual preferences have all but lost their effect for the most part. So remember, this is all happening before the full deprecation of third-party data, by the way. So this is already happening. We're years into this. So really the overwhelming consensus over the past few years, especially since the pandemic, mind you, is that personalized communication has become the indisputable difference between companies with below average revenue growth and companies with above average revenue growth. In fact, it's so clear that it can actually be measured. This is what I was talking about before. According to McKinsey Institute's Next in Personalization survey in 2021, so a couple years ago here, companies that adopt personalized marketing strategies see an average of 40% more revenue growth than those that have been slow to adopt it. I'll say that again, a 40% difference. That's essentially the difference between success and a company with an approaching expiration date. So, but for your client, personalization isn't just about bringing in new customers. It's just as much about creating customer loyalty that have consistently shown that they sincerely appreciate and reward brands that speak to them as an individual. The loyalty, if you continuously returning customers and free word of mouth gossip from happy customers to brand new ones. Combination of loyalty and getting the attention of new customers is what adds up to such a big difference. And again, talking about what value, okay? You're kind of looking at one piece of it right now. So to answer that very first question from earlier, when does first-party data come into play? The answer is it already has, and countless companies have been making money with that for some time now. So now that that question's answered, here's where we answer the big question, okay? Do the clients you're speaking to even care about collecting first-party data right now? Even, let's say more directly, will any of this help you get your next sale? Well, okay, well, there sales comes in. Now, now that we understand what our value is, it's time to simply communicate that value to the client. Now, I've worked a few in sales myself, and from personal experience, I've found that it's so much easier to sell a product or service that truly has value. I mean it when I say it doesn't get much worse than having to pressure a customer or a client to buy something that the both of you know isn't really going to do them all that much good. That's miserable on many levels. However, when selling something that has significant value by its own merit, that's when it gets fun, and that's when it gets easy, because all you have to do is show the client that value. The product sells itself at that point. You've heard that before, but you know it's true. When product service has value in itself, it's easy to sell, right? So allow me to break it down for us so that we can break it down for our clients. We've already seen why brands should invest in personalized marketing. The return on investment, the customer loyalty, catching the eye of new customers, and the sheer revenue that ultimately comes from it. Oh, by the way, personalized marketing can mean different things depending on the brand, right? Of course. So use a personalized approach in your sales pitches as well. Recognize who your client is and tailor your message to whatever their unique objectives are. Who are they trying to target? And know that through our audience software, you can get that information for them, whatever that might be. So anyway, that said, there are a few things that are universal for just about all clients. Really, whoever the client, the truth is they're not really looking for logo placement. They may say that, but what they're really looking to do is introduce their brand to new audiences, right? Also, they're not actually looking for a huge number of contest entries. What they really want is to engage with new customers and collect real qualified leads. You know, just to kind of add on to that point, they're not looking for added value. Simply, you know, a digital version of the contest tacked on as kind of a free little bonus to an on-air ad. Ultimately, they're looking to what every business is trying to do. They're trying to increase their revenue, and no matter the client, if they're willing to invest to see that revenue come in. And then, by the way, if you can actually deliver, they'll keep coming back time and again, because at that point, they won't see you as another cost. They'll see you as an invaluable and indispensable revenue generator. So, in fact, more often than you'd think, clients aren't sure how to boost their business, right? In fact, that's exactly why they're coming to you in a lot of cases. You are the expert. They are turning to you in hopes that you can springboard them to their next level of success. So be that and use experts. Really, like, show them exactly what I showed you, the proven value of personalized marketing. There are countless articles, studies, surveys, case studies. You can share them yourself. In fact, if here's the primary study that I referenced today, the McKinsey Institute research. Just Google McKinsey personalization, and then simply ask the client if if they would like to increase their revenue growth by 40%. I would like to think that most would say yes. So, in fact, there's that graph I showed you earlier, right there. So, I'm not pulling it out of the ether. This is real stuff. So, anyway, that I'd like to think that most of them would say yes to that kind of that kind of value. So, once they understand the true amount of value that is out there to be had, that's when you suddenly become a necessity, of which, by the way, they have relatively few alternatives, might I add. So, so at that point, you just show them what your digital partner audience, what we can do for, and as far as they're concerned, it's you doing it. So, how you show them how you can ask all contest participants any question in the world, as many questions as they want, how we can boost their social media footprint or even drive real world foot traffic to their location. We can do all of this for them, right? So, because really, with your reach in your industry, with your reach and your ability to digitally interact with individuals, again, digitally interact with individuals, it makes you one of the very few solutions available to them. Frankly, as cheesy as it sounds, they kind of can't afford not to sign up for a promotion with you. So all you have to do is show them that's indeed the case, that value is there. Simply communicate the true value that you can provide for them. Right, cool. So I do have one more little note I'd like to add here. This kind of ties in a little bit. Also, it's its own thing a little, there seem to be always one or two clients out there that can't quite scrounge up enough funds for a full-blown campaign, or maybe their product or service doesn't quite translate into the most eye-popping prize, for a giveaway. It will do your taxes for free or something. I don't know. But although sweepstakes and giveaways are the bread and butter of digital contesting, absolutely, there are there's a number of fun and engaging options beyond a traditional sweepstakes. In fact, sometimes the funnest part of a promotion is simply the act of participating, such as taking a personality quiz or playing a game or participating in a poll, sharing an opinion, right? These things can really gain some steam on social media, as I'm sure we've all seen. And I've seen a number of clients do a job of this. Not only that, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that surveys are probably our most powerful product when it comes to collecting first-party data, kind of going back to what we talked about before, very unique first-party data and qualified leads for your clients, finding out information about, their potential or customers. So I'm sure you've heard me before go on and about incorporating a survey into a sweepstakes by offering bonus entries and all that. And I still stand by that method big time. Anytime you can offer sweepstake bonus entries for taking a survey on behalf of your client, that is a win. That said, questionnaires don't have to be a part of the sweepstakes, right? They can run as their own campaign as well. So if a client is having trouble coming up with a good prize to give away, right? Well, maybe the prize doesn't need to be the draw. So, or if they can't invest much, but you'd still like to help them out a little bit, right? Maybe they're a partner in some way or another. Consider a fun holiday themed personality quiz, or have your audience test their knowledge about St. Patrick's Day or American history or Thanksgiving history. How's that? That's we're starting to get there. Halloween history, or just present a topical poll, right? Whether, whatever it might be about the, sports, I heard I won't mention it by name, but I heard there was a poor quarterback that had a bad game this weekend. So, ask something about that. With a questionnaire, your clients can still collect invaluable data. Really, there's still a sign-up process. There's still an email. There's still questions to be had, custom, and obviously a lot of custom questions in a survey, in a quiz, in a poll, right? So, so you can still collect invaluable data and interact with your audience, and in many cases, gain even more first-party data and qualified leads than with a traditional enter to win. So, and then not only that, but these questionnaires generally take much less investment and effort on your part. So these can really become a nice and easy way to pad that quarterly revenue a little bit, right? Maybe pull in a sponsor that maybe you otherwise wouldn't be able to get, So I might add that it can also be a nice way for potential clients to dip their toe into a sponsorship if if they're otherwise hesitant to commit. So yeah, I'd say keep questionnaires in your back pocket, either by, again, adding them to a sweepstakes or standing on their own. Of course, we always have interactive UGC galleries and other options as well, but I'll leave those options for another day.